Did you hear about this? 24 people went to the hospital because they were knocked around so badly in wild turbulence on a JetBlue flight. One flyer said people hit their heads on the ceiling. Here you see a flight attendant being treated by EMTs. The plane was going from Boston to Sacramento on Thursday, but it had to make an emergency landing in South Dakota because everyone was so hurt after the incident. Delta's flight operations returned to normal less than 48 hours ago. Between Monday and Thursday, they had more than 2,000 Delta flights canceled. They blamed it on a power outage that disrupted computers at its base here in Atlanta. Now, Delta's new CEO apologized.
We're very sorry. I'm personally very sorry for what has happened to you, the impact it's had on your travel plans, whether it's for personal and vacation, the impact on your families, or on your business ventures, or for whatever reason you were traveling on Delta.
Now, Delta tried to make it right with passengers, but as he admitted, I mean, they can cover your flights. They can't pay for your lost vacation or your lost business. And, you know, a $200 voucher or rebooking may not fix that. So joining me from Washington, travel expert Bobby Laurie. Bobby, Delta had this, really terrible customer service mess on their hands this week. I mean, these kinds of system-wide outages are pretty rare. Southwest had one last month. But, when people get so angry about this, what can they do? Anything?
There actually is some things to do, but first and foremost, it's really to be informed. When you book an airline ticket, there's a lot of terms and conditions that you are agreeing to that a lot of people just click the agree button and hit next. And
I do.
I mean, everybody does, and you're missing the fact that you're actually agreeing to what you get in situations like this. You're agreeing to those. You're agreeing to the compensation structure. You're agreeing to the fact that your seat might actually be reassigned, even though you're selecting it. So it's really, inform yourself. Actually go through and read it. I went through and read Delta's, by the way. It was 51 pages long.
Oh my
So you
God.
might want to do a search and search for fees or compensation or delays and see what kind of things you can actually do.
In my next life, I'm rewriting all that legal hullabaloo into normal human
Right?
speak.
You really need to.
I know.
And honestly, there's some other things you can do too. I mean, in these situations, especially when it comes to a weather delay, the airline doesn't necessarily have to do anything because it's out of their control. So you might want to have a backup plan in the back of your mind, because you do know if there is going to be extreme weather or it's snowing or something, your flight will probably be delayed. And it's also really important to remember that even if you're in a city where the weather's fine and you're traveling to a city where the weather is fine, where your plane is coming from might be experiencing extreme weather. And once that happens,
It's
the
a
airline
cascade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the airline can blame it on extreme weather then, therefore not owing you anything.
Right. Okay, so what are the three things you can do while you're standing there fuming?
Okay. All right. So, number one, Twitter. You want to go on Twitter because you can tweet them. They have social media teams. It'll get you out of lines in the airport and off the phones. Number two, you want to save your boarding pass. At the bottom of your boarding pass is your ticket number. That's what the airlines are going to ask you for when you're looking for compensation or a refund. And last is the Department of Transportation. You can go to transportation.gov and file a complaint, and they'll put pressure on the airlines for you.
All right. And I got to say, even if you don't get what you want after you did all those steps, at least you feel heard, right? You make
Exactly.
a complaint. All right. Thank you so much, Bobby Laurie, with what you can do if you get stuck.